All right, we're heading into Twin Ponds Park. Today we're looking for some more off-road, and this is kind of why we ride these gravel bikes, because look at this. We're out in the woods right now. We just cut off from the city streets and the loud traffic, and now we're in the serenity. So I'm on the Fasari Schaefer. I got this in 2023. I've had this for about a year. Right now, in the current configuration in this video, I have the second set of wheels that I've put on this bike. I put 3 wheels on this bike, 3 different wheel sets so far. I had the stock 900 fulcrums. They're okay, no problem, whatever. But I have 2 bikes. I don't have 20 bikes, so I can only have 2 bikes, so the things I can do is change components and experiment with components, which is nice. That's fine. So the second set of wheels I built custom out of DT Swiss. I based them around these Riot Ultimate hubs I got on AliExpress, and then built these DT Swiss R470, I believe, wheels. No problem. I like them. They were comfortable. When I bought those rims, I didn't fully appreciate the rim dimensions. I was more trying to make the lightest wheel possible, which in retrospect I don't necessarily recommend, because you're probably not going to make your wheels make you go faster, honestly, because you're just probably not that great an athlete if you're riding just for fun. Amazing. Which is kind of how I feel. I don't think any of the wheel sets I've built have been like, whoa, now I'm like super fast, and I wasn't before. I think I've been fast on all of the wheel sets once I've gotten used to them, but the change has been the feel of the ride and the comfort. Also, there are a lot of other things that have changed the feel of the ride and the comfort. When I initially got this bike, it had tubes in it, and I decided to, after doing research, go tubeless, and that has made the bike more fun to ride. The tires that you choose also make the bike more fun to ride. The tires that I currently have on this Fasari build right now is the Schwalbe. Oh man, I can never do that. I'm like people with Worcestershire sauce. I can't say Schwalbe. I don't know. Correct me anyway. Whatever. But I have the all-rounds 45 millimeters on this, and they're cool. The tire pressure I run for mixed terrain, I'm kind of finding that with the 45 millimeter tires, to be in the 30s is kind of where I want to be. I'll ride it. I've ridden it as low as in the 20s, not necessarily on purpose, and you just forget to refill your tires. But so I'll run those Schwalbe's all-rounds for like 30 psi to 35 if I know I'm going to go on surfaces like this. And it's fun, you know. The one of the advantages of the underrated thing I think about tubeless tires is that rolling resistance. And the way that the rolling resistance, I experience it in terms of it being better, is that lower pressures don't, cause you to suffer as much as lower pressures would in tube tires. I felt like with tube tires, when your pressure ran low, you really felt it. You're like, dang, why is it so hard to ride today? Did I lose fitness? And you'd feel this like dramatic slagginess when you rode, and you don't feel it as much with tubes. I realize, like, whether you're at like 20 psi or you're at 50 psi, the main difference you feel is the ride feel. That's the most immediate thing that I feel, is the feel of the ride when I change my tire pressures. So, as I'm talking about this run, and I'm talking, I'll drop a little advice, personal advice on tire pressure and what I believe you should do in terms of finding the right tire pressure for you. And I'm talking about a tubeless setup right now. When you're running lower pressures, this is one of the great benefits of tubeless setups, is that the pressures are super low compared to what I used to ride. I used to have 32 millimeters with tubes in it, and I'd run it at 85 psi. And again, when you run it that high, and there's something about having tubes that, like, when the tubes are not filled up to the spec, they can really be draggy, and you can really feel it in a way that tube tubeless tires don't seem to have that dramatic effect when the tire pressure is low. So my advice to people trying to figure out their tire pressure is look at the range, right? It'll say, between 35 and 60. And I would say if you're not used to tubeless tires, just start at the highest one, right? Ride it around, see how you feel. And then if you can be as deliberate as possible, try to lower it by 5. See how it feels. Lower it again. See how it feels. Lower it again. My theory with it is if you are not losing significant speed, but it's more comfortable, then go that direction. Because what I realized over time, when you are a non-competitive cycler, once your fitness is up, you're going to have enough speed to do what you need to do. Speed isn't the thing. With adventure riding, speed is not the thing. The thing is being able to ride for as long as you can. My mentality when I ride is, can I ride all day? And that's the stamina that I'm trying to build as I ride. I'm not thinking, I need to be able to go fast as all lightning. Because ultimately, the stronger you become as a rider, you're gonna go faster, right? You're just gonna go faster. Because there's an equation, right? The faster you go, if you tone down the speed, then you'll be able to go further, right? So either way, even if you don't, that's the surprising thing about riding is I used to ride 12 miles a day, but it got to the point where I was so used to riding that 12 miles that I could ride it harder and harder and harder, and I would get faster times on those 12 miles ultimately, which means once you're going on an adventure, that faster speed you're able to go will translate into further miles when you're going at a leisurely pace on a tour with your friends, or you're just riding with a group. And so you can still significantly build stamina on short runs if you increase the intensity here and there. So anyway, going into Hamlin Park, very, very fun type of riding experience that I have not been able to experience until I purchased a gravel bike. And like I said, with the tubeless tires and the way that they're set up, I would not be riding on these type of surfaces if I did not feel that the equipment could handle it. So basically my old configurations with the tubes in it and the 32 millimeter tires with the 85 tire pressures, they could do a little bit of off-road, but I wouldn't have it stay off-road for a long period of time. Whereas on my gravel bike, I can picture myself going out in the wilderness and just grinding for hours without my tire setup having too much of an issue.